Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 52 of Smooth Traffic. We're all in the same building today, the Smooth Traffic Hunting Lodge.
Yep.
In the wilds of North Dakota in South Canada. I think that's right, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to talk about ice hockey, booze, football games for your PlayStation or Xbox console. It better be PlayStation because the Xbox is a poor man's PlayStation. Yeah, it is. There was something else we were going to talk about as well, wasn't there? Oh yeah, we've driven some cars recently, haven't we?
Yeah, we've driven 8 or so different cars to tell you about.
Right, let's
Get on with the show.
yeah, let's start with some ice hockey, shall we?
Thwack.
Good leading.
That was a slap shot for you.
Good.
You're welcome.
The
Bracknell Bees.
The Bracknell Bees, yeah. So Ben, apparently they're quite good at ice hockey now, you said.
They're doing better, aren't they? Yeah.
And from what we saw tonight, they could be the best team I've ever seen play ice hockey live. They were really impressive tonight, weren't they? They should have won about 9-0, but it ended up being 5-1.
Bit of a shame.
Still pretty good though. It was feisty tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, saw a few fights and stuff. Very good.
It got a bit tasty. Now, before we went, King did some research. Things to call out at an ice hockey game, or to shout at, or to shout out, or sing, or...
I was looking for chants.
Yeah, because obviously we don't have any sort of history with ice hockey in this country, really, do we?
No.
And your shout of throw in when they're throwing the puck.
When the puck went out.
into the crowd.
Throw in!
We had a few funny looks.
Mm.
Yeah, so what was your favourite chant that was suggested?
Oh, well, my favourite was the one I was laughing about an hour before the game actually kicked off, when I was like choking on beef brisket at the barbecue joint. about when the referee comes on. So when the referee comes onto the ice and you have to boo him straight off the bat, don't you? Boo him straight away, and then demand that he checks the net.
Yeah.
And then he checks the net, and then you say get inside the net to check inside the net as well.
Yeah.
And he does that, and then he goes away after that, and then you boo him again, and then you ask him to check it again. And when he doesn't check it again because he's just checked it, you continue to boo him. I thought that was hilarious. I just thought that was hilarious. I was laughing about it before we even did it. I thought it was great.
So you did boo him. It gave you a bit of a grin.
Yeah. Yeah, boo! Yeah, no, that was really funny. I enjoyed that. The ref had a bit of a laugh about it as well. He seemed to be smiling, didn't he?
On the outside.
On the outside, yeah. Crying on the inside, but that's what you get when you come to Bracknell. Intimidating crowd.
It's good.
Yeah.
Support your local team.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's only the second time we've been, but £12 for 60 minutes of action. A bar that's reasonably priced.
Yeah. One of the
3
cheap.
pints for £9.
Yeah.
It's about half the price of it usually.
Ben drank a pint.
Ben drank a pint, so he's got 31 to go now.
I think so.
So he's getting there. He's getting there. And
Johnny bought me a Jägermeister instead.
yeah,
For my second.
yeah. Ben asked for a Jägermeister, and he received a Jägermeister. If you ask me for a drink, I will go and get that drink, even if it's meant to be a joke. Ben actually enjoyed it though.
It's nice, actually. I like a Jägermeister.
He was like, "Oh, this is lovely. I'm getting so much fucking coriander in this, or something." he was really milking it.
It's more cowpole really than coriander.
Yeah. If we'd had it in the bar, it would have come in little like elegant shot glasses, but we didn't, so they had to go in a plastic cup. They didn't trust you not to lob it on the ice. Because Ben was Larry.
Oh yeah.
He was proper Larry, wasn't he?
Definitely. As you can always imagine, Ben is the hilarious member of Smooth
Yeah.
Traffic.
Animal.
Once he's had a drink.
I was out of control.
Ooh.
Yeah. He had to be carried out afterwards. Was there anything else we shouted or sung today?
I called one of the refs a gorm.
That was
When was
unnecessary.
that? Was that that massive body check that happened that went unpunished?
Yeah. Which was disgraceful.
Mm.
Like, utterly disgraceful.
We had 2 female referees as well, and Kingy's heard an abuse of them.
It wasn't her. There was only one female referee.
One,
Yeah.
There was 2.
It was one.
2.
One.
I thought there was 2.
I only saw one. The one that did all of the puck-offs.
Yeah, but you see the one in the red, the one that was wearing
Yeah.
armbands
Yeah,
to go
right.
swimming.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
We thought she was a woman as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was just the head ref. But anyway, that's not the point. So you called a referee a gorm.
Yeah.
Which was a nice thing to do. But that's a nice thing to call people anyway, as we've discovered on King's Dictionary of Fauna.
Yeah, I wasn't going to be rude to the bloke.
Ben said at the time that was
Just
a really
'cause-
nice gesture.
Yeah, just because he didn't get the call right,
Yeah.
because he was obviously blind.
Yeah. You
But,
gave
you
him
know.
encouragement instead.
Exactly. That
Did you
doesn't.
call him a fucking gorm?
He
No,
did.
I
He
didn't.
said, "Are you blind? You fucking gorm." which probably wasn't taken as a compliment, even if one of the words was. Like calling someone a fantastic bellend. One word's nice, the other one not so much.
Is that the end of this segment then?
Stop.
No. Does it have to be? Have we not got anything else to say about it?
Everything comes to a start, an end, and a
What
middle.
about the time we nearly got hit by the puck? Twice.
So the 2 times we nearly got hit by the puck.
Yeah. And what about the fights that broke out?
What about the drum?
Oh, the drum. The problem with the Bees is they don't have any songs. Apart from banging a drum going, Bees!
No, I think they
Bracknell!
don't. They chant Bracknell rather than Bees.
Bracknell! Bees!
And the trouble is, the kid that they're doing the drums, which it's nice to get the kids involved, but he had absolutely no sense of rhythm, which is very
He
irritating.
couldn't keep the rhythm to We Will Rock You.
I know.
That can be the end of the segment now. I'm done. So, for our second or third segment of the podcast, we're going to talk about SMMT Day, the Society of Motor Manufacturers
And traders.
and Traders. Thanks, King. Yeah, I should know that, really. They hold an event once or twice a year. They have a main big event, and then they have a north event and a south event. And people in the motoring press who share opinions about cars or just turn up can drive a few cars that have been brought there by different manufacturers. And each time we go, because cars is kind of one of our staple meals here at Smooth Traffic, we do a 30-second challenge. You don't get very long with the cars, so I'm not going to give you very long to talk about them. So, Ben, you've put down 60 seconds here. That's ridiculous. It's going to be 30 seconds.
I think
You've
I
let
made a
yourself
mistake.
down. In fact, Ben, you can only have 25 seconds now. So yeah, because I didn't do much driving this year, because I did lots of talking instead with the manufacturers, Ben and Kingy are going to be taking the helm in this 30-second review section, which is going to encompass 7 cars. Maybe it's 8, King. We'll see, won't we? So, are you ready?
Born ready, Johnny.
Yes.
Well, your time starts in a minute, actually, because first car is going to be the Suzuki Swift Sport. Go!
Well, this car was stunning in a bright yellow. It was ridiculous, luminous yellow.
Magnificent.
How do you describe it, King?
Had sport,
Magnificent.
sport decal stuff that was quite good. Actually made it look quite smart. I really liked the Swift. It was good looking, quite fun, quite well made. 2 twatty exhausts at the back, which weren't that twatty, but it looked stylish. Had little bits of carbon fibre around it and stuff, or carbon fibre look.
Carbon fibre effect.
Stop.
Handled magnificently.
Stop!
Oh, King C, why are you waiting for? Sitting there with his arms folded.
You got an extra 1/10 of a second during that, and I don't know anything about the engine, the gearbox, how fast it was, what it was like to drive. Rubbish.
But compared to last time we did this, it was Ben that was just rambling on, not me.
Oh yeah,
So
true.
just note that.
Yeah,
alright?
yeah.
For all the shit that he gave me last year. Why are you wasting all this time just talking about this, that and the other? I don't know, Ben. It's difficult to talk quickly about things, isn't it?
I was just waiting for you to chip in and say something about it. I didn't drive the car,
Yeah,
so
King.
it's very difficult for me to say how it handles.
Passenger boy over here.
So, the next car is the Peugeot 508. Your time starts now.
The 508 was a very impressive car.
It will as well.
It drove very well. It's got very nice styling, both
Yeah.
inside and out. Very comfortable to drive. Ben, anything to add?
No. It's a bit of an executive car. It's dull, nice, but
Wait a second, you
it's
thought it
fine.
was dull?
yeah, it's just a saloon, isn't it?
Just a saloon.
Stop. I'll tell you what, Ben, you're going to get a voucher.
Johnny really liked this car, which is why
You're going to get an absolute voucher for this. That is shocking.
It was nice.
Get down the stairs.
What did you think about it, Johnny? Because you drove.
I think that's one of the best new saloons I've driven in quite a long time, actually. Really, really good. It's front-wheel drive, but you don't really notice it's front-wheel drive. So, and actually, all these people who bullshit about getting their arse out on the road on the way to work. Yeah, I was drifting round the roundabout on the way to work this morning. Bullshit. One, they're too stupid to do that and they probably can't drive that well anyway. And two, if they did do that, they'd invalidate their insurance for talking out their arse. For everyday purposes, there's no reason why you should base a car purchase around whether the front wheels are driven or the rear wheels are driven. Four-wheel drive is another thing. That can be useful in bad weather. But front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive really doesn't matter. Cracking car, great design, great quality interior, great design.
That's probably been more than 30 seconds, John.
I felt special. Yeah, but I'm the rule master here, King.
The entertainment system had those cool like buttons underneath it, didn't it? They
Yeah.
were almost toggle buttons, I think they were obviously any.
Digital cockpit. Mine had a
yeah.
red leather interior. Looked sporty. Drove well. Great car.
In terms of styling, it was different, wasn't it? It was
Yeah.
possibly a bit Marmite, but
No.
they were trying something new.
No,
so
it's a great
that's
car.
good.
Ben, you slaughtered it. Fuck you. The next car is the Vauxhall Corsa, and your time starts now.
Awful. Done.
It's a Corsa. It was very disappointing.
It was.
It doesn't have a USP, which was my biggest issue with it. It doesn't know whether it wants to be a... It's the GSI, so it doesn't know whether it wants to be a sporty version or whether it wants to be a convenient, small, super mini, fast super mini. It just couldn't...
And it was far too expensive considering it didn't do anything properly.
Yes.
Everything was not quite right.
But
Also, it was a horrible... The colour wasn't right. It was like a yellow, but it was more like a...
it
What
was
did
a
you
funny
describe it
car,
as?
wasn't it?
I can't think what you called it now. You made a
Mandarin.
Mandarin, yes.
Mandarin.
So more orangey. It just wasn't very
More
nice.
of a mandarin yellow.
It was like, yeah, shouty and yellow, but actually not, because it was sort of like... ugh.
I'll tell you for a fact that was not Mandarin. King's talking out of his arse. Anyway, the Kia Ceed is the next car, and I'm the rule master. No, your time starts. No, now.
I'm going to
Actually-
punch him in a minute.
Actually, a very good car was the Ceed, I thought.
Yes, they've dropped the apostrophe as
They've
well.
dropped the apostrophe. That was probably the biggest thing to take away from that.
Oh yeah.
No,
But
actually, there was very little wrong with it. It was well made. It seemed comfy.
And you said they've revamped the interior
Oh,
because you tried the old
so
one.
much better than the old one. The old one I got in and was like, nope, not even going to bother taking that for a drive. And this one, I think if I had driven it 6 months ago, we probably would have bought it because it was really good.
Yeah, drives really well. 7-year warranty, still.
Stop. Well
Johnny
played, King. Well played.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised, I think, with that. Quite how good it was compared to some of the other similar cars on the market.
Promising signs from Kia. So, Ben, for a bonus point,
Yeah.
where are Kia from?
South Korea.
Bonus point obtained. 1-0 to Ben, King.
Yeah, screw you, King.
Oh yeah, the chaps have made some videos that are going to be coming out on the YouTube channel at some point.
They will be almost as insightful as these 30-second clips, except you'll have to look at Rob's face considerably longer.
Well, I'll look forward to that. The next car is the Mini Cooper S, and your time starts now.
Really good driver's car. Really enjoyed it. The exhaust makes a lovely fruity sound when you've got it in sport mode. And it's everything you want a Mini to be.
It's distinctive.
Rev matching.
It is very Marmite, I think, the design, because it's got a massive circular sort of like stereo system and things like that. It's all very unique. But if you like that, then it's perfect. I'm sure most people are very passionate about them, and I can see why.
But it has got toggle switches, which are cool.
Toggle switches are cool. To be fair, I like those.
Yeah. Did it still have rev matching?
What's that?
I don't know.
In the manual gearbox, when you change down, it simulates the action of a heel and toe.
Oh,
motion.
shit. Flips the...
So it makes the revs in the perfect place for you as you dash.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rev matching is great fun. Nissan 370Z has it as well, apparently.
Oh, cool.
Ben's phrase of the day is going to be, it's a very Marmite product or car. That's Ben's phrase of the day. That's come up in about 5 of these reviews so far. How many have we done? 5. How funny. So the next car in question is the Nissan Leaf, the perfect car to drive around a forest. And your time starts now.
For some reason, this car makes Rob think of the worst jokes when reviewing it.
He's a bull baghead, isn't he?
It's awful. His jokes were awful. The car was very good. Nicely made. Comfy. Quite nippy, actually, when you took it off braking mode. But we did have it on this...
The E-pedal.
E-pedal mode, so as soon as you took your foot off the accelerator, it basically smashed the brakes on what it
Yeah.
felt like.
It's something that you'd have to get used to. But, no, very good car.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's not a novelty being an electric car. It is just a regular car. It does everything you need it to do.
Oh shit, we got to stop. We got 34 seconds. So I don't know what happened there. I just
So
nodded
excited about the Leaf that you wanted to hear more.
off. I just nodded off for a minute there. I don't know what happened. Well, I'm going to have to deduct a point from both of you for that, so it's now 0 - 1 to Ben. And that leads us on to the final car, the DS7 Crossback, and your time starts now.
We didn't drive this. This was driven by you, John. So
And Jonny said one thing he hates about it is the interior, because they fucked about with it and it would just collect dust, is what he said.
and he said it was too similar to the Peugeot.
Yeah.
And he hated all French cars, I think he said, didn't he?
He said they're badly made. They just
And they smell of
hurt his
cheese.
back. Yep. There was plenty of garlic storage.
And the croissant holders.
I think which I found
stop.
to be quite xenophobic of him.
Jonny the xenophobe.
Do you think we've captured it well from the text messages you sent us about the car, Jonny?
I said none of those things. You're a pair of ball bags.
Well, I mean, we're paraphrasing, obviously, John. You know, we don't have the word for word in front of us.
No, paraphrasing.
Rubbish. I actually have a DS7 in late October, so I will share my thoughts on the DS7 then. In the meantime, don't listen to these pair of wankers.
You've driven it.
I have driven it, yeah.
Well, share your thoughts then.
No? I'm going to wait until I've had it properly for a weekend or so, end of this month.
So, as we said, we've done some YouTube videos, so they will be out when I can be bothered to edit them.
Good day.
And on the basis I have to sit and look at Rob's face for hours when I do it, it will be a long time coming.
So, exciting times. We're returning to Johnny's Learning Annex because he's finally figured out something that he wants to learn about.
Yep.
What have you got for us today, Johnny?
Well, I was thinking the other day...
Hot on the heels of the water cycle.
You know what? I've spent probably 25 quid on USB sticks in the last 6 months.
USB sticks?
No, not USB sticks.
Cables?
USB cables.
That sounds more like you.
In the last 6 months.
Why?
Why are they so expensive for a start? What do they actually do? And why is there so many different types of them?
I mean,
Well, let's keep it simple. What do they do? I mean, they can be used to transfer data from one item to another.
Yeah.
They can be used to transfer electrical charge from one item to another so that you can plug it in and recharge your
Does
phone.
that mean there's 2 wires inside them?
there are more than 2.
How many wires are there inside? 5?
Depends, I think. 4, I think, generally.
4?
Mm.
Do they all have a different job to do?
Yeah. So,
We've bitten off more than we can chew here, Ben.
yeah. So, what do you think USB stands for, Johnny?
Universal
Yep.
something
No.
bastard.
Yes, universal something bastard. Exactly.
Very
So-
close.
The universal something bastard. What was the other question?
Well, I don't know why they're so expensive.
Oh, they're not expensive.
They
Why do you
are
think they're
expensive. For something
Why are
that-
you spending so much on them is the question we should be answering here.
For something that we have to use every single day, and now everybody in the world needs one.
Yeah.
Why are they all 10 quid?
They're not 10. Where are you buying them for 10 quid?
Curries.
Why are you buying them from Curry's?
That's like going to
Because I need them.
Maplins. Christ.
Yeah, but, where else am I going to get them?
Amazon.
Tesco.
3-day wait. Tesco don't have them.
Prime. Amazon Prime.
I live in the North, King. It takes 3 days to get anything from Amazon up there.
Why are you breaking so many cables?
They
Yeah.
just break.
You should have dozens of the things.
They're made of
I've got
shit.
dozens of them from like old phones, and every device you buy has got a bloody cable with it.
And they all break immediately, and they all break in the same place as
John,
well.
as
Why
with
do they always break in
everything,
the same
as
place?
with everything that has any kind of electronic input, the common denominator for breakage is you.
All right.
I'll tell you what. I've never had a USB cable break. I lent you a USB cable. You returned it. The end had practically snapped off.
I know. Why do they always snap off like that?
I've never had a cable break either. Never.
Another thing, right?
Or even look remotely like it's damaged.
Exactly.
Ben told me to get an anchor cable once because they don't break, apparently. Mine broke.
What were you doing with it?
Yeah,
Were
what are you
chewing it?
doing with these things?
It just didn't fit in the port anymore. It wouldn't go in. And I thought, that's great, the cable hasn't broken this time. Instead, the golden knobby bit on the end, and God knows why this one was golden.
Golden knobby bit.
Yeah, you know the golden knobby bit? They're normally silver, but on the posh anchor cables, they're golden at the end. Instead, they've got a golden tip.
Well, gold's a better conductor of electricity.
I don't think it's real gold.
No, it'd be gold plated though.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Wow, I bought some gold. Never
No,
done
you
that
bought
before.
gold plating.
Still gold.
So,
Has it got gold in it? I bought some gold. But yeah, that broke as well. They always break.
what? You must be pulling them or being a brat, quite frankly.
Have you met John?
Yeah, I mean, that's obvious. So what else did you want to know? So they're expensive. They're not expensive. You're just an idiot. That's why you're buying loads.
They're expensive. They're all
what are
10
they
quid.
for? Yeah. Have we covered everything?
We covered what they do.
Yeah. There you go. Do you feel like you've been educated?
Can you use a USB cable to charge an object the other way around?
What do you mean?
Like,
do you want to charge the house from your phone?
yeah, like, or if you had
As in, you want to charge something that is powered by a full size USB with the micro USB.
yeah, can it go both ways?
I think it is possible with the correct device to have power flowing both directions. I think. Why would you want to do that?
Don't know. I just thought it might be useful.
I mean, the cable.
Why would you have
Why
would you have an output that was micro USB or mini USB?
Oh, that was the other thing. Why are they all different sizes?
different purposes?
What's
You
they
wouldn't
do
want a
different
full-size
things?
USB on your phone, would you? Because it'd make your phone massive.
No, but I've got a USB-C now. But I had a
Yeah.
USB-B before.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
On what? On your phone?
Yeah.
No. The USB-B is the one that's on the back of that microphone, which is the big square one.
The USB-B is predominantly used for printers and things like that.
You had a
It's
micro
a big
USB.
square chunky one.
You had a micro USB, John.
Yeah, I had a micro USB,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to know why that's changed?
Why?
Because USB-C is considerably better for power and for data transfer.
But does no one have micro USBs anymore?
I mean, some devices do, but most are moving to USB-C now.
Is USB-C going to be more expensive than micro USB?
No.
It should be the same.
Should be.
About 10 quid then.
It will be a bit more expensive now because it's slightly less.
About
common.
12 quid.
Yeah, it'll come down. But again, I've already started to develop quite a collection of USB-C because those things are.
Have you got any old micro ones? Because John could probably do with them.
I'm not letting him have any. I've got plenty of micro devices still.
I don't know what he'd use them for because he's now on C, but
Are they safe to use if they've broken off at the neck like they always do?
Only if you use them in the bath.
Such an evil man.
Kingy likes it. No, you're electrocuting yourself. Also, toasters. Good fun in the bath.
Yep, you can drop a toaster in the bath.
Yep.
That'll electrocute you.
Makes your hair stand up. It's fun.
So I think that was all I needed to know.
Cool.
Well, glad we could be of service, John.
But why are they so expensive? There's just a bit of rubber with some wire inside.
They're not expensive. You're just shopping in the wrong places.
How much do you spend on a USB cable?
Well, I don't, because I don't need to replace them.
Well, you
Because
know
I
how
don't
much-
break them.
Well, you don't know how much they are then. Ben?
What?
How much USB cables?
Oh,
How much should they be?
£5? £8 maybe if you buy a very good quality one.
It's about 10 quid then. So it's that time of the year. Every gamer knows this time of the year. If you like your sports games, now's the time of the year we have to choose between FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer, known to the fans as simply Pro Evo, or in some places, PES. King, what do you call it?
I call it Pro Evo.
Yeah, Ben, what do you call it?
Pro Evo.
Yeah, I call it Pro Evo as well.
But then, do we only call it Pro Evo because everyone else in our group of friends back in the day called it Pro Evo? Like,
Yes.
none of our group called it PES, did they?
No.
But when I went to uni, a couple of guys were Pro Evo players, but they referred to it as PES.
Were they idiots?
Not. I don't think they were idiots.
Mm.
Not compared to John.
Fair. So, yes, time to decide between the two. So we've had a test
Yeah.
of both, so you don't have to.
Well, we
Yeah.
tested both demos. Not the full game.
They don't need to know that.
John's played the full game of Pro Evolution Soccer 2019,
Yeah.
and we've all played the demos of FIFA 19. And surprising results.
I actually don't know which one's better, so I can't give anyone helpful advice.
I would agree.
Over the years, there's always been one that's been much better. I think
Yeah.
there'd be 2 or 3 years when you'd have to get FIFA, and then the next 2 or 3 years you'd have to get Pro Evo. But this time, I'm not sure where you go.
Last year, Pro Evo was definitely the better football game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although obviously FIFA offers a lot more with its excessive licenses and whatnot. In terms of an actual football simulation, last year Pro Evo just kind of got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas this year, I don't think Pro Evo's come on enough necessarily to have upped its game that much. Whereas having played the demo for FIFA, it's a much quicker game now. I think if anything, the last couple of years they slowed it down far too much.
Yeah.
And
the trouble is with FIFA is they sometimes try and overcomplicate it, so you've got all these fancy things you can do. And it's, I think time shooting now is a thing, but I think when they've often find themselves adding extra complications to it, and they kind of have to slow it down so that you can do the things that it's trying to add in. And that ruins it, which is why Pro Evo has been quite good recently, because it's almost more arcade, but that's the good thing, isn't it? That you can just play a game of football.
Decent game of football.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest issue with FIFA compared to Pro Evo, certainly in recent years, is the fact that FIFA don't really seem to put any development time into anything other than Ultimate Team. So everything is geared towards getting online, buying packs of players with physical money, and then obviously you don't have to use your own money. You do earn coins within the game to then spend them on packs, etc. But everything is geared towards that online functionality. And I know that FIFA have had the Journey over the last couple of years, so obviously they've tried to make almost an RPG single player element, but the career modes, nothing really changed with those. Whereas obviously Pro Evo year on year, they don't just focus on my club. There's always changes to Master League and Be a Legend and whatnot. So Pro Evo develops more across the whole of the game, I think. Whereas FIFA's always been more geared towards just making as much money as possible.
Yeah.
But having played it this year, the game is faster. We were talking beforehand, John and I, about the atmospheres in the games, and this is where Pro Evo's kind of let itself down, because they've chucked a bit of money at, frankly, fairly random licenses, because they lost the Champions League license to FIFA. So they've got the Turkish League, they've got the Portuguese League, but they haven't really captured the atmospheres of those leagues at all. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, the atmosphere is all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Whereas even just in the FIFA demo, playing at the Bernabeu as Real Madrid against anyone, it feels like a game at the Bernabeu. There isn't any question that you're not in Spain. So I think that's where Pro Evo have struggled this year, in that they haven't really capitalised on what they've done.
Yeah. And Asia and South America is bigger than FIFA, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's not obviously the biggest market, so there's a lot of effort put into the South American leagues, stadiums, players, those sorts of things, where in England we don't really get that, because we don't really see any South American football coverage at all in this country.
No, you've got to really go out of your way to find anything.
Argentina for a while had Football Paris Todos, where you could watch live matches on YouTube of the Argentine League, because the government said that Argentine football had to be accessible to all the people. It was for the people. And then a couple of years they got down the road and thought, nah, that's shit. So they scrapped it.
Classic Argentina.
Yeah.
They could charge for this.
So they thought, we can make money out of this. Well, that's what people were doing before. It used to be great. You used to be able to watch just live Argentine football on YouTube. It was terrific, and it was pretty good fun, really. There's some really, really distinctive, massive clubs down there, but if you don't see much of them in real life, you don't really gain an appreciation for them. Like we don't really gain an appreciation for how good Alliance Lima's fans are.
Yeah.
Even though in the new Pro Evo there's their stadium and their fans and stuff, but without knowing them in real life, I can't appreciate what they're like on the game. So
I think it's a very valid point, but I think you can still appreciate that. I think if you know anything about football, you know, certainly with the sort of Super Classico from Argentina.
Oh yeah.
Boca and River Plate. You have an idea of what the atmosphere is like, at least for those games.
Yeah.
So obviously having the Bombonera and the Monumental, is it? The River Plate? Yeah. So having those in there, and having played a bit of Master League last season as River Plate, like the atmosphere there is bang on. So why they've struggled with these newly licensed leagues this year to kind of replicate that is a surprise to me, really.
That's the most frustrating thing for me, though, because they've got the Turkish league where the fans are mad, and they've got a Turkish stadium in Fenerbahce that they've actually fully, scanned and everything, and the fans are dead. It's almost silent at kickoff, and that just doesn't happen in Turkey. And in Portugal, in Portugal and Spain, the fans make a very specific noise, which is very different to the noises we make up here in England and Scotland and even France. And they just haven't been able to get that either. So it doesn't feel any different to playing, whether you're playing in Portugal or Turkey, to what it does playing in a generic league. So they've got all the graphics for it, but then that's it. It's frustrating. Whereas, FIFA 19 just impressed me with the atmosphere right off the bat. The Bernabeu is brilliant on that, and obviously on this telly we've been playing it on as well, which is it HDR?
4K is the telly, so yeah, it's HDR gaming.
So we played 4K FIFA basically, and the attention to detail was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it looks very nice. That's through the Xbox One X.
FIFA have always been exceptional at presentation, though, haven't they? You can't take anything away from that. As soon as they got the full Premier League license 3 or 4 years ago now, the work they do with that is fantastic.
Yeah.
You can't argue with
even the
with
referees are official, aren't they?
Exactly. So you can't knock the product from that perspective. But yeah, I think this year it is difficult to choose a game, because at the end of the day, you just want a game that plays like football and doesn't feel scripted. I think is the most important thing, because that's something that both games have been accused of. I wouldn't say they're guilty of, but both games have been accused of that over the past few years, of being a bit scripted. And I think this year it's difficult to decide which one to go for.
We had some pretty good games, didn't we? Because I played lots of Pro Evo, but
which is a surprise when you think about the fact that Ben and I both beat you.
Yeah,
I absolutely smashed you.
It shows how good I am at these games.
Because I play about 3 games a year, so the fact that I beat you is pretty damning on you.
Comfortable 2-0 win.
Although Ben was throwing in some horror challenges.
Yeah, Ben was a disgrace to
Like, obviously I get a lot of stick for being a bit of a filthy player, but I was probably the cleanest player today.
It was only against Jonny. I'm usually quite fair.
But when we all picked up
Never
FIFA,
seen so many yellow cards.
It was a lot of 1-1s, wasn't it, and 2-1s in FIFA. All of us, despite not being well. I've played a couple of games of it before I came here to see you guys, but the fact we've all just picked it up and we're having decent games where we weren't feeling hard done by or hammered or anything, that's a good sign. I think maybe just get both.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I really object to with FIFA, is that fact that I went and looked in Argos the other day to see how much this was on pre-order for the standard at $52.99.
Yeah,
for the standard edition.
Yeah, I saw it in Tesco yesterday.
It's just
the
like
Xbox version is £3 more as well.
That's bizarre.
I find it strange that they can charge that much, because there's so much of it is the same as previous years.
Yeah.
Like the actual development time. You look at something like Red Dead 2, as we've mentioned before. They literally spent like something like 5 or 7 years developing this, and it'll be £50. And then you've got FIFA where they just sort of tweak stuff.
It's
really,
a reskin.
Is all they do.
Yeah.
There are elements that they change, but I'm pretty sure it's only fairly minor in the grand scheme of things. They've got a pretty big base of game to use to start with, so it feels expensive. It does feel like most games with that sort of change, you'd expect it to be DLC or incremental updates. So that disappoints me, and that's why I don't always jump out and buy these things.
Well, this is the problem with FIFA, is that EA Sports and EA own them, and the greed of that company is something quite remarkable, and it's only a matter of time before they get done legally for the stuff they've been doing. Belgium have already started doing them over for Ultimate Team. It encourages kids to gamble. The fact that they've got these very, very sought after players on their online gaming, and they've now been told to reveal the odds, and the odds of you getting those very sought after players that people want in their team, they've said themselves, is less than 1%. So it could be 1%, or it could be 0.1%, and you pay
0.01%.
I mean, yeah, and you pay money for this, and
and
who's paying money for that?
People are spending hundreds and sometimes thousands on it, which
people
is crazy.
do spend thousands on it. FIFA is $1 billion game now, and I think it was only Grand Theft Auto 5 that originally was the $1 billion game, wasn't it? I think they worked. I think that was in the news a long time ago. But it's a disgrace. They encourage children to start gambling, basically, by making them chase these players, and probably a load of adults too.
Yeah.
But I think we know better than to spend money on packs.
I think the difficult thing is that what you don't appreciate, and this sounds like we're bashing FIFA, which we're not. We're not. No, we're not though. We're having a go at EA rather than FIFA. But the thing is that if you're playing a game where you're trying to build the best team that you can online, and you can purchase a pack of players which has a percentage chance of getting a particular player. You know, you can buy that pack of players with currency that you earn in the game, so you don't have to spend money on it. But at no point do you think opening that pack is like gambling. I think in terms of the way that people's minds work, at no point would you think, oh, this is like gambling. You just go, oh, it's like buying a packet of football stickers and then going, oh look, I got Paul Pogba. Oh look, I got Paul Warhurst. I don't know why you've got 95 Premier League stickers.
Is this quickly Kevin?
If only. But at no point, I think at no point do you actually associate what you're doing there with gambling. But at the end of the day, it is gambling, because it is no different to chucking some money on a roulette table.
Yeah.
And just saying, number 15, spin that round. So it is weird that I don't think enough people actually appreciate that it is getting children thinking about gambling.
There's probably a lot of occasions where a child says to their parents, oh, can I have £5 to buy something on FIFA? And they go, oh, it's only a fiver, and let them do it. And probably need that education for the parents, really. They don't really understand what it is they're paying for, and it's only a few quid, so they don't care. So maybe that's something that needs to happen.
But then if you're paying £50 to £60 for a game, this is my issue with DLC as a whole, why are you then having to pay another... Well, why are you then having to pay anything extra for something else in the game?
Especially a game that hasn't needed much development either, apart from the additions of a few new kits and maybe the odd stadium here or there.
I'd love
maybe
to know
some
how
gameplay
big
tweaks.
the development teams are for these, because there must be hundreds of people working on like new titles. It makes you think that there's probably very few people working on FIFA. Maybe there's just like 3 or 4 chaps getting together and...
Imagine if we made FIFA, if the three of us were responsible for that.
Oh, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? It'd be appalling and cheap, but at least it'd be cheap.
It would look like Resident Evil 2 in terms of...
On the PS1.
Yeah, in terms of the violence.
I was going to say, every time Kiki does a slide tackle, people's legs would fall off and all sorts.
We need to start
vicious.
making UFHC.
We do.
Or UHFC.
UHFC.
Yeah.
Ultimate Horse Fighting Championships.
Don't give it away, Ben. It's $1 million idea.
I thought you'd given it away on an earlier podcast, about 20 years ago.
$1 million idea that came to us over a fry-up. So, depending on how the segments are arranged in this podcast, you'll either already have heard Ben and Kingy talk about the Vauxhall Corsa GSI, but I was looking around on the internet the other day and I found out that there is I don't want to say tuning company because I don't think they actually tune anything, but there is a modification company in Germany that take Opels, which are, German Vauxhalls, and turn them into bitters, which is an uglier version of a Vauxhall.
If that is indeed possible.
Apparently it is. And if you, I've helpfully provided a link to bitter cars in our OneNote section of our website. And on that website you can have a look at some of the bitter enhanced Opel cars.
I can't see how they're enhanced at all. They still look just like I'd expect them to look.
Have a look at that Mocha. Bitter Mocha. A bitter Mocha. Ugh. They enhance the interior quite a lot. They take off the Opel badge and they put on the bitter badge instead. And they just kind of add little sort of chintzy bits on it. And it's... I didn't know they existed, but I just thought...
Yeah, it says they're...
That's horrible.
It says they're luxury versions.
Oh, wow.
Of these
That
cars.
is bad. They've put like tartan on the inside. They just look cheap still.
So apparently they specialise in rebodying.
Is this a big company?
I don't think they're very big, and I don't like knocking small companies obviously because it's hard, but I don't really get why you would sort of get to this point where you go, you know what could do with tarting up a bit, Vauxhall, but you know what, I'm going to make them look exclusive. But it's like Mansouri have decided to modify Opels and
But
Vauxhalls.
they're not even that. They don't look.
They're not
No one's going to get in and go, oh, I wasn't expecting that deliciousness.
Yeah.
They're just going to look at it and go, oh, that's a bit different.
Blech.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Why have you bought a Vauxhall and spent all that money on the interior?
Like when you see an Alpina, you appreciate it because you think, oh, that's quite classy.
Yeah.
When you see a bitter, you just go, what? Why? It's a very, very strange thing to do. I wonder how many they sell. I don't know. Obviously, being smooth traffic, I haven't done any research apart from finding a web page.
Still, It's interesting to see.
Well, they were founded by Erich Bitter, who was a former racing driver turned automobile tuner, importer, and ultimately designer.
Is that designer in quotes?
Began crafting his own vehicles after business ventures with Italian manufacturer Intermeccanica finished. So they were founded in 1971.
Bitter were founded in 1971.
Yep.
Wow.
Bloody hell. So they've got a long history of doing rude things to Opals then.
Yep. Pretty much.
Well, that's all I've got. So
Inspirational. Well, I can tell you now, John, that their first car, after just minimal research, the first car they produced was the Bitter CD, which was based on the Opel Coupe Diplomat, hence CD. And that vehicle they sold at a rough estimate, maybe about 380, 390 cars in the space of 7 years.
That's not bad, actually, is it? I mean, the other thing I don't know about Bitter is how much they charge. Because I assume you have to buy the Opel first.
I'll take it to them and then they
And then say...
zhuzh it up.
Yeah, I'll leave it with you for a month. Turn it into something that,
Similar, but
that looks
terrible.
like Medusa's backside.
Oh, so you can still look at it.
Yeah. You don't want to, but you still can.
Yeah. It won't turn you to stone.
No.
Right.
But it's still horrific.
So much so that it makes you want to look at Medusa's face.
Exactly.
Got you.
Yeah.
Poetic, John.
Yeah. See, it's... I just wanted to share that because I've never seen that company before. And I'd never really want to see them again.
Intriguing.
Why? Why would you take an Opel and go, yeah, let's tart it up?
And the fact that they're specifically Opel as well.
It's just an
If they
awful
did any
decision.
car, we can tart up any car for you. That brand. Weird.
So, for the first time in a while, we've been lucky enough to all get together.
Yeah.
And by lucky enough, well, that's definitely a bit of a stretch. But anyway, John moved to the north, so it's been a while since we've seen him. And Ben and I don't really care for each other, so it's been a while since we've seen one another. But we're all in the same room, and to celebrate that, we're getting absolutely tanked. So,
To make it more bearable.
so we've had quite a few drinks over the past 24 hours or so,
Yeah.
haven't we?
We have. We've had
And we
quite a
thought
lot.
we'd just go through them and just give our own little reviews on each one.
Yeah.
So Ben, you've compiled a list.
I have. So the very first thing we tried was, or finished off really, was the Glenfiddich. The 12-year-old.
Well, I think we had the beers first, didn't we?
Did we? Was it that?
John brought the hop house, didn't he? Didn't we
had
start with
some-
those?
I mean, I started on the Glenfiddich. We used to, you had a beer first or not?
Did you not have a beer yesterday?
No.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely had beers at some point. That's about all I can confirm. But
Yes.
it's now what? It's about
1:10. So
And-
we're into day 3 of actually being in each other's company.
and we've been consistently drinking for a while. So it's starting to get a little bit hazy now, isn't it? I think we started with the beers and we went on to the Glenfiddich afterwards,
So let's review the hop houses a moment.
which is a
John.
lager, isn't it? Made by the people from Guinness.
Yeah,
Yes.
Hop House 13.
Let's check the label there.
So it's the Guinness lager, and it's a nice drop.
Yeah.
It's more of an ale in terms of its taste,
Yeah.
because it's quite hoppy. But it does come across as more of an ale than a lager, and it is an interesting, enjoyable drink, I would say.
Well, it says it's a premium crafted lager.
Mm.
Bullshit. Double hopped and brewed with Irish barley. The combination of 3 types of hops deliver a uniquely fresh hop aroma. They can't stop saying hop. And crisp flavour with hints of apricot and peach. And I think there's definitely fruity.
You can taste the fruit, yeah, and the hops. Did they mention there's hop in it?
I think there's several hops.
Yeah,
in
there's
it.
some hop in it.
That's a good point. If you're out and about
It
somewhere.
is, yeah. I'm a fan of the Hop House 13. I've had it many a time before.
Clean, refreshing.
Yep.
Fruity. Highly recommended if you're out and about somewhere.
Not the kind of lager that you'd see the lads drinking.
No, it's not Carlsberg.
No, the kind of lager that you can go out and enjoy.
Yeah.
And not feel like some kind of ruffian.
Yeah, it's got flavour, which is, makes a change. Glenfiddich 12 is the entry-level Glenfiddich single malt, one of the world's most popular single malts.
And you can see why. It's quite
It's
approachable.
really good.
It's quite,
Yeah.
certainly for someone who's new into whiskies. So a good place to start, I think.
Great new whiskey for someone who's not had whiskey before. King, I think you mentioned it's your mum's favourite drink, isn't it?
It is. It is my mum's preferred alcoholic beverage.
Incredible endorsement. It's affordable.
Is it?
It's affordable. It tastes like it's been in really good oak barrels. Is what I think I said to Ben yesterday. It's got a really nice quality sort of barrel taste to it. It's just a good spirit. It's just a really, really good whiskey, that. So, and it's what? I think it's 26 quid a bottle normally for a 12-year-old, which is pretty good, really.
Can't be expensive because my mum drinks it, so...
What is it, like 25 quid a bottle or something like that?
Yeah.
30 quid? Okay.
Well worth it. You've got to have a bottle of Glenfiddich 12 in your drinks cabinet, I think.
If anything, if you've got nicer whiskey, it's good to have something like that so you can give it to people and keep them away from
Keep the good stuff for yourself.
You know the monkey
Which is what I
shoulder?
tried yesterday, yeah.
The monkey shoulder that we haven't had tonight is Glenfiddich, Balvenie, and another distillery in the family.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I like a monkey
So it's
shoulder.
a blend of those malts, which is why it's very nice, probably.
Cool.
But we haven't drunk that today, so...
So then we had the 15-year-old.
Which is still bottled at 40%, I think. Yes, but that is made using a Solera vat system, so a big vat is filled with lots of 15-year-old whiskies from Glenfiddich that come from sherry casks, bourbon casks and freshfield oak casks. It's then in the vat, and the vat is always kept half full, and it's been going for years. So there's going to be particles in that from whiskies that are now very old.
Yeah.
As well as the minimum of 15 years old, and they come out of that, so it's got a really fruity, Christmas puddingy, rich taste to it. And I think for the money, that is a really good whiskey. You could spend 80 quid on a whiskey and it wouldn't be as nice as that. And the normal price of that's about 45 quid a bottle, but I managed to get a little 20 cl bottle, sake round obviously, for this weekend, and it was 12 quid. And that was really, really good. So yeah, that's highly recommended.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And all because they put the Solero ice creams in the vat.
Yeah,
Amazing.
delicious.
Amazing.
So fruity, passion fruit. My God.
What came next, Ben?
Well, I think next was having some beers over dinner today, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Blues Smokehouse.
Best place to go for dinner, especially before the ice hockey.
Yeah.
So I had a Brooklyn lager, which, being an American lager, I thought would be probably your sort of typical Bud or Coors or something, but it was actually quite
Punchy.
It was quite punchy. Yeah, it was much more akin to an ale than a lager, but very well matched with decent sort of
Meat.
smoked meats. Yeah,
Mm.
so it was good flavour combination. Accidentally, but I imagine that's why that's the lager they sell. But that was quite nice. So it's much heartier than the usual crap you get from places like that. Jonny had a Moretti.
Moretti, yeah. There's something that's really frustrates me about beer at the moment is that they bottle and badge beers up as foreign beers, but they're not. They're made in the UK somewhere, and they taste completely different to normal beers. So if you see a bottle of Estrella, for example, which when it's brewed in Barcelona tastes fantastic, if you get the British version, it tastes like piss. And I've complained about it before, and they've sent me a case of beers. So if you accident proper ones as well from the place where they're actually meant to be brewed. So if you ever get one of those beers and you think this doesn't taste right, complain about it. Tell them. You've got to complain and tell them about it, because it's quite cheeky, I think, because they're making you think that you're buying this beer that's been imported, that you've had somewhere abroad before, and you think, oh, that was great, or you've had somewhere in a proper pub before that has been imported, and you think, oh, that was great, and it's not. It's piss. So complain. I think the one I had today was UK, because it tasted like piss.
That's true.
Yeah, see, I was tempted to have a Moretti when I saw it on the menu, or on the drinks list, I should say. But yeah, my instant concern was that it wasn't going to be Moretti. It was just going to be UK brewed.
See, I didn't really ever think about that. I assumed that if they brew it in the UK, it's brewed based on the local, or the original traditions, as it were. So that's quite disappointing, but something to watch out for. But then I have tasted massive differences in beers from one place to the next. So I usually put it down to the age of it in the keg or whatever.
And there's a lot of that in the whiskey industry as well. One of the secrets to Glenfiddich's success is that they're consistently able to replicate a flavour over a long period of time, and other brands struggle with that.
So, King, you had a Sam Adams?
Yes, I had a Samuel Adams lager, all the way from Boston, and yeah, very pleasant. It was quite similar to your Brooklyn, actually.
I didn't realise it was a lager.
Quite a tasty little number. I mean, I've had Sam Adams before on draft. This was out of a bottle, and it's certainly a different taste. You could tell that they obviously import them rather than
I always go
rather than just sticking it
bottle if I can
from wherever.
over pint, because it's much more consistent.
And because you can't drink pints.
Yep.
So,
I'd try both.
I like a Sam Adams. There's a bar in Bath that serves it actually.
What,
which is
on
quite
pump?
enjoyable. Yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah.
They were very closely matched, because I tried a bit of both of these, and I thought they were very closely matched. I just preferred the bit of extra kick that the Brooklyn had.
Mm.
But the Brooklyn was 5.2% and the Sam Adams was 4.8. So
Yeah.
you get a little bit extra flavour, don't you, with a bit more alcohol content.
So then we had another. You guys had a pint of Brooklyn Scorcher.
Scorcher IPA.
Didn't like it.
No, I presume not, because you then had a rum and coke, didn't you?
Yeah.
After that, yeah.
Yeah, it was aggressively flavoured.
I didn't dislike it,
Mm.
but I did find it hard to get through the second pint. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. It's one of those ales that kind of struggles to know what it's trying to be. I think because obviously they, the Brooklyn brewery, their main thing is the Brooklyn lager, and yeah, the IPA just didn't quite do it for me. So the second pint was difficult to get through.
Yeah. Thick, strong flavoured,
Yes.
very, very bitter.
Mm.
Not all that pleasant, in my opinion.
But importantly, at the same time as we had a pint of that, Ben had a pint of San Miguel.
San Miguel.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, great moment that.
Magical moment.
Successful.
Yeah, we gave him a hug.
And some patronising cheering.
Ben,
So-
you had Jägermeister.
I did. Because I said I don't want another pint, but let's have some shots of Jägermeister, forgetting that you don't joke with Jonny.
Yeah,
But,
because
to be
John
fair-
will buy whatever you ask.
Yeah.
I quite like Jägermeister, and it's chilled. It's quite tasty. So I was quite happy to drink that.
I gotta say, smelled quite nice.
Don't shot that stuff. Got to drink it. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
No point shotting spirits. Disgusting.
Unless it's Jägermeister. But Ben drank it for
Like
some
a
reason.
champion.
Like a champion. Yeah, it did smell very nice, to be fair.
I must agree with Ben, actually. I'm not a fan of shots.
Yeah. Especially like
When-
a good vodka or something. You savour it and drink it.
Yeah.
Chill it. Drink it. Neat.
It makes me sad to think there are some people in the world who'll order like a whiskey that's been sat there for like 10 or 15 years or something, doing nothing, just to acquire the flavour profile that someone wants you to experience, only for it to be gone in an instant.
Just knock
Yeah,
it
just
back
knock
in
it
one.
back.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a
Or
shame.
worse, I've seen people mixing whiskies with Coke and stuff.
Yeah. There are certain whiskies that it's fine, like Johnny Walker Red Label or something cheap, like Bell's or something like that, but
If anything, mix it with something to try and mask the flavour, yeah.
yeah. But or bourbon's great mixing whiskey, but don't do it with something nice, because I'll slap you right across the canister.
Rightly so. So then, talking of vodkas and stuff, I'll let Kingy try my salted caramel cocoa vodka, which is from
Hotel Chocolat.
which is absolutely delicious. Very sweet.
This is a fucking long list, isn't it?
Proper pudding vodka. What did you think of that, King?
Easily the best thing I've drunk over the past 24 hours or whatever it is since we've been drinking.
Wow.
And, I mean, there's no secret that I've got a sweet tooth.
That's true.
I'm carrying a few extra pounds because of that sweet tooth.
Bloody lovely though.
It's delicious. I could sit there and I could easily go through that bottle in an evening.
No, it's fine.
Alright, let me rephrase that. I could easily buy a bottle for myself and go through it in an evening.
Will you do it for smooth traffic?
I'd probably kill myself, wouldn't I?
That's not
Hang on, how
It's
big?
only
Actually, it's not a
26%.
massive bottle.
It's only
250ml, 26.5%. There's 6.6 units in it. Oh no. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that. No problem.
Cool.
done. Cool.
And it is tasty as hell.
Yeah. I had a sip. It's like drinking a liquid dessert, isn't it?
It's lovely,
Yeah,
especially
spectacular.
it's a dessert vodka. And then Johnny mentioned yesterday that he didn't think he'd ever had a cognac, which was painful to hear.
Yeah.
So I let him have a dabble of. I had a Remy Martin VSOP in the cupboard, so let him try that.
Is it white grape they use?
I think predominantly, yeah. I'm not certain if there's variety. I think it's usually
It's
white.
definitely fruity on the nose. I like it. It's really rich.
One of my favourite spirits, to be fair.
I want to know more about it before I talk about it too much, because there's quite a lot of cask in it. It looks old, but I don't know how old it actually is.
I think it has to be a minimum of 4.5 for a VSOP. But the casks are usually a lot older, so they reuse the oak casks. So you probably have sort of 20-year-old casks, which is giving it extra flavour.
It's interesting that, because in the whiskey world, old casks have very little influence because they've lost a lot of their character, basically, by being
Pungency.
used so many times. But if it's had the same thing over and over and over again in it.
But you'll find, I mean, as part of the process, they might chuck it in a new cask for 2 years and then chuck it in an old cask for 2, that sort of stuff. So they do vary it up to get those extra flavours into it. But I really like a cognac. It's quite smooth and flavoursome and all that. Nice.
Very, very rich drink.
Nice digestive.
Yeah, I like it. Hopefully we can go on a cognac tour so I can learn more about it. 'Cause, very good.
Definitely. And then last but not least, we are sampling at the moment of something that you guys bought me, which was a nice gift, a limited run from the Dalwhinnie,
yeah.
Dalwhinnie.
When we had the Caterham.
That's it, when you went and did the Caterham trips. This was one of 6,000 bottles, so it's quite rare and absolutely delicious.
It's
strong.
It's strong, yeah. It's good. I mean, from what I know, this is interesting because there's no age statement on this. Normal Dalwhinnie is 15 years old, and it's bottled at, I think, 40%. This is 48%, but with no age statement. Limited run. It was a lot more expensive than the normal one.
You still owe me half, by the way.
Yes.
How long ago was that?
And the rest. And it's
hearty.
It is. It's very. The flavours are complicated, but also changing as you drink and take a breath afterwards. The flavour, the palate changes quite a few times, and it's quite. I think it needs someone with a bit more sensitive taste buds and experience to tell me what's going on.
I describe it as busy.
To be fair, that's not wrong.
The aftertaste is, it's much sweeter, I think, on the tongue.
It's got an incredibly gentle smell. It's called the Gentle Spirit. It's very, very flowery. It's really Highlandy in character for a whiskey. But
really nice, really nice.
It's not far off cask strength. It tastes like something that actually might be a bit special. So
it's going straight back in the cupboard and not coming out again.
Yeah, fitting for the occasion it was bought for, definitely.
So you're welcome then.
I'm just glad it's nice because after
after the ball ache of going all the way to fucking John O'Groats from Land's End, and to be clear, the Land's End bit was the worst bit. John O'Groats was very pleasant.
Yeah,
with the exception of that burger that we had at the Tesco in Wick.
Oh, that was like cardboard.
But anyway,
I love the fact that was like 2 or 3 years ago, and you guys are still bitter about it. It does make me
livid.
chuckle.
But
we don't let things go, Ben.
No.
We got that before I started learning about whiskey, and I think now I probably wouldn't buy that because there's no age statement on it. And I think it's nice to know what you're buying, especially when you're spending a decent amount of money. It's nice to know exactly how old the whiskey is in there. But we would have had a taste of that on the tour, and we probably would have thought, that's quite good. Even then, in our sort of limited knowledge, the fact it has got a higher strength. If you're in a supermarket looking for a whiskey, look for anything above 40%, because 40% is the minimum you can bottle something for it to be a whiskey. And they water it down to 40%. It means they're sacrificing quality to make more volume. 43, 46%. If you see anything that's 43 or 46, they've kept it like that for quality reasons. It's probably worth picking up, as long as it's not really expensive.
Good tip.
Like that one that we got for Ben.
Yeah.
4 figures.
Was it? Yeah, and the rest. There's 3 zeros afterwards as well.
Yeah, they're the 3 that you still owe me.
Cool. There we go.
Is that £1 million?
So that's why.
It would be £1 million, yes.
And for these reasons, we'll be feeling a bit ropey tomorrow, I think.
Probably. Well, actually, no. I'll probably get up and be pretty chipper.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it when he's chipper. Please don't be chipper.
I prefer this disgrace period when he was rough as hell.
Yeah, the disgrace period. That was one of the highlights of my life. Actually, it wasn't even my life; it was his.
It was like 2 weeks.
It was 6 months. Well, that brings an end to episode 52 of Smooth Traffic, the most liquored up episode of Smooth Traffic there has ever been, and probably the latest finishing one as well.
Well,
Really?
we were pretty smashed in Wales.
Oh yeah, we were well smashed in Wales. Yeah, this is different though. This has been lots.
Yeah, we're just tanked.
This has been lots of nice stuff, whereas in Wales, I think we had brains or something.
No, in
Oh, we had a
Wales it was
selection.
just a selection of miniatures.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But we had
So not brains.
Do you remember there was an English whiskey in there as well, and that was horrific.
Oh, that was
Oh,
evil.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blech.
That actually tasted like a spirit, like if you were licking the wrong end of a ghost. Ugh. Anyway, thanks for listening to Smooth Traffic. Bracknell Bees, well
What's
done.
the right end of a ghost?
Who knows?
Ask Derek Acora. And
Sam!
we'll see you next time. Tweet us at Smooth Traffic. Send us lots of money.